I will say, as a white person listening to these musics, it's fun to rap along without having to like censor
Think
myself.
about that.
Yeah. Self-edit.
Yeah. Because it can be hard if you're rapping along to a song to mid-flow in the middle of a bar, just like take a break for a word and then try and start right back after the word. That can be challenging sometimes if you're trying to rap along.
In a funny moment with that, you ever been to karaoke and had the wrong pick?
Oh, I have not been brave enough to do that.
I tried to get, I think it was Parliament Funkadelics' Fantastic Voyage. Classic song, safe as hell. Did not know somebody made a remake of that song recently. And that came up in karaoke, and it was every third word. And I was like, well, I'm done. Check, please.
Yep.
I got some looks at that. And I was like, nope, didn't know it was this one. Nope. No idea.
All the black people in the back like, sing the song. Sing the motherfucking song.
Sing it.
I dare you, sing the song.
Yes, that is what happened.
That's great.
Welcome to After Playlist, the music playlist discussion and reaction podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Terry Yo.
And I'm Brandon Lee.
And it's time for another Playlist Battle! This time around, we have some of the illest fire-breathing spitters with some of the sickest flows to ever hit the mic, battling it out this episode, y'all. And they just happen to be white. So, speaking of white...
Hello, listeners. Thanks, Terrio. I'll take it over from here.
Bruh.
So white rappers have come a long way from the Vanilla Ice days, and we just wanted to kind of highlight that today. Also, we wanted to showcase MCs other than Eminem, because kind of everyone obviously should know who Eminem is, to show that there is and can be more than one lyrical white rapper in the game of hip-hop. So, to help us with this... We have our good friend of the podcast, Chris, joining us today. How are you doing today, Chris?
Oh, doing good. How's everybody doing?
Doing all right.
Doing great. I am super hyped for this playlist battle.
So am I. It's great to be the minority.
Bruh. So, as always, we love music and talking about it, but we should probably let you guys know what songs we're going to be talking about on this episode, what songs we got battling it out today. So I'm just going to go through the list here real quick. So, starting at the top, we have Golden BSP with Teo Laza. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Yep.
On 9 Minute Massacre. Then we have Cal Scruby, Money by Drugs interlude. Aesop Rock, None Shall Pass. Then we have Prof, Fire Lessons. Then NF, Pandemonium. Then we have Lil Dicky singing or rapping Bruh. Then Token, Household Name. Watsky, Whoa, Whoa, Whoa. Then we have a classic, Weird Al, White and Nerdy. Bubba Sparxxx, Bird Dog after that. Followed by G-Eazy, Sober. And rounding it off with Yelawolf, Pop the Trunk.
All right. And to further clarify, these songs, we're actually pitting the rappers against one another, but these songs showcase that rapper. That rapper's performance is like, one of their top tier performances. So we're judging based off the rapper and this song as well. So if you haven't listened to the songs already that we're about to discuss, there's a link in the description, aka the show notes of this episode with direct links to the playlist for your listening pleasures. And before we dive into the playlist battle, we have some quick after playlist disclaimers. Number one, we respect everyone's opinion, regardless of how wrong or awful it may be.
Always.
Number two, we chose this topic to highlight the diversity of white rappers in hip-hop. We want to remind you that hip-hop has been around for over 50 years now, so white rappers do exist. If you have a problem with it, get over it. You'll be fine. Number three, we're not too bad with profanity. Okay, well, Brain is not too bad with profanity, but sometimes I may actually, have a few expletives slip out. But we're all grown. There's an explicit tag on the podcast, so you should be aware. And number 4, we're just talking about the music, not the artist's real life, personal, or cancelable issues. So, without further ado, let's get into the battle.
Okay. For our first battle of the day, we have Prof with his song Fire Lessons. And this was one of the songs submitted by Chris. And that is going up against Yelawolf, Pop the Trunk, which was submitted by Terrio.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so Yelawolf is new to me.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know how they snuck under the radar to me, but I've been checking out some of the music, and it's good.
He was one of my alternative picks, and as soon as so Chris, you submitted yours first, and I submitted mine, then Terrio submitted his, and I was so happy because I actually not even was Yelawolf one of my alternative picks. Pop the Trunk was like one of the 2 songs I was considering if I had picked him. So I was so happy to see that you had picked it.
Oddly enough, I was gonna pick another song with by Yelawolf, but then it had Eminem in it, and also had Gangsta Boo in it. So I was like, oh, that's gonna take away from it. But yeah, I'm really shocked. Like I figured you would have heard about Yelawolf, Chris.
No. I mean, I've seen the name, and at least with other collabs and stuff like that. But with my picks, I try to stick away from anything that had the collabs. And Yelawolf came across my list in my research, but nope, still hadn't heard of him before that.
He's not. Is he still like actively making? Because I've not thought of him for like. It's been like over a decade, man. I feel like. Yeah. It really was this playlist and like just looking up white rappers on YouTube and like just seeing who would recommend that. I was like, oh yeah.
Like, wait a second, who's still in the game?
Yeah.
Because I mean, there was some out there. I was just like, man, okay, well they haven't made anything literally since I heard of them. And then there were other ones like Aesop Rock, brand new song 3 months ago. I cannot stop listening to it. Almost made my list.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, he's still out there. He released something. I want to say 2022, 2023.
Is he still with Interscope or Aftermath or whichever one of the? Because he was with them originally, right? Like back in the day.
No. He was with.
No, maybe just because he collabed a few times with Eminem. Maybe it was just because of that.
Possibly.
Maybe I got that in my head.
No, I'm getting him mixed up with Ritz. Yeah, so I think he was signed with Eminem for a hot second. Was Shady for a hot second, but then he went to do his own thing independently, and he actually ended up collaborating and signing somebody else on this playlist that I will discuss later.
So, okay, well, back to the actual battle here, pitting these 2 songs against each other. Both of these songs, I feel like, do something that I noticed both in the research and just listening to the playlist over this last week. White rappers oftentimes will have kind of wacky flows. If you guys they've picked up on that, I
have. Like at least one of their songs, if not all of their music, tend to hit like the comedy, like the funny guy niche.
That is definitely a through line for sure.
Yeah,
especially with Prof, like just the flow he has and like how he bounces back between like the aggressive voice and like kind of the high-pitched sing-songy voice. Definitely, I agree, lends it kind of a slight comedic bent to it.
I would say that Fire Lessons is probably one of his less comedic songs. He certainly has more.
Yeah. He has some songs that are like, I'm positive are straight up meant to be comedic.
Oh, yeah. Like Squad Goals. I don't know if you guys came across that one, where he's basically being Mr. Rogers, off camera, off scene kind of thing. And, funny gimmick all the way through, has little clips of comedy going throughout most of his stuff. But
yeah, I've noticed that as well. I noticed that also with the particular flow with some of the white rappers. I see a lot of them do tend to lean into the speed rap flow a lot. If not for the entire duration, but at least there's like
there'll be like bits of it. They'll kind of dip in and out of it. Yeah,
exactly. It's like, okay, I got to cram all these bars in here to show how lyrical I am, which, in my opinion, that doesn't necessarily equate lyricism.
I'll say there's 3 styles that I've noticed: the comical, the heavy lyrical, and then the try hard.
Yes, that's
a good way to put it. Yeah, because there's definitely we're like, it's just man. That's such a succinct way to put it.
I haven't seen many that don't fall into one of those 3 categories, and then it's just like, okay, well, you're either skillful a joke, or you really want to be something.
Yeah. Like you really got something to prove.
Yep.
So between these two, I'm gonna stand by my pick, Pop the Trunk, and the reason why I prefer this pick, number one, Roll Tide represent. You know what I'm saying? We got to, Bam in the house. Number two, I really like the story of all of this.
Yeah.
So each verse contains a story of a reason why you might have to go pop the trunk on somebody. And, we don't necessarily condone violence around here. But there's been some times where like, hey, can you fuck with me? I'm going to have to go pop that trunk. Like, like back the fuck up. So I like that. And the fact being that it is catchy as hell. That hook is like,
don't make me pop the trunk on you.
It's like, come on, man. Like that's like perfect production, lyrics, all that stuff. Like it marries together. Prof is dope. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I'm representing mine.
All right, Chris, who are you picking? Since I don't have a song in there, I'll be the tiebreaker if there needs to be a tiebreaker.
Well, I do love Prof. His songs are always bumping to me. It's always something that gets me going. But funny enough, since I didn't know Yelawolf, and the first time when I heard this song, I was listening to it at work, had my headphones in, wasn't super tuned in, didn't have the lyrics in front of me or anything. Swear to God, I heard him say Paw Patrol instead of Pop the Trunk. I swear to God. And I was just like, all right, Terry's playing a fucking joke on me. Because I had the list on shuffle or something, so I heard Weird Al before this, and I was just like, okay, this one's a joke. Who is this? And I looked at it, I was like, Yelawolf. I was like, no. Really? Okay, Pop the Trunk. Okay, I got it.
You know what?
Paw Patrol.
You know what? In his defense,
don't make me Paw Patrol on you. I was like, what the fuck?
I mean, sometimes in life you do gotta Pop Patrol, and then also the show Pop Patrol. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty tight. Yeah. So I mean, either way, I win. So I'm just saying.
With that, I'm gonna pick Yelawolf. That gave me a good laugh. But his music's good. I like it.
Hell yeah.
I'm not that I'm mad Yelawolf is going to take this round, but I'm also going Yelawolf. As much as I do like Fire Lessons by Prof is someone that I only recently discovered him, like kind of near the end of last year was the first time I heard a song by him, and so I've not like been super exposed to his music, but a lot of his music definitely has, is makes me feel like upbeat and kind of excitable. But I think Yelawolf lyrically and like Terry was saying, the production is just a little bit better.
Oh yeah,
in my opinion.
Oh man, that 808, come on, man.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yes.
There we go. Okay, Yelawolf continues on to the second round.
All
right. Next up, our second battle is G-Eazy with his song "Sober" featuring Charlie Puth. Puth. I don't know. Okay, is it Puth?
Yeah.
I've like seen the name, but I've never actually heard it pronounced. So thank you. And he's going up against Aesop Rock's "None Shall Pass."
Okay, Chris, I'm gonna put you in the hot seat on this one.
Yep,
you go first.
All right. So I don't know if you guys have come across Aesop Rock before, or know much about him, or see much of his work.
Absolutely not.
Been one of my favorites for a long time. I've seen a couple of articles written about him and things like that, describing him as one of the rappers with the largest vocabulary.
Okay.
You see him as going out there for his rhymes, reaching fully through a thesaurus and really coming up with something that you don't see out of a lot of other rappers. Now, he's got some oddities, I would say, probably with None Shall Pass, with like the high-pitched shit in the background. But overall, I think a lot of his music tells a story, does something more, and all of his music videos have a lot of artistry to it. That's something that really drew me into it.
Oh, that was one thing I didn't... I watched a few of these songs on this playlist of music videos, but I didn't check that one out.
I would say a good half of his videos have things like street art, graffiti, things like that over time lapses. A lot of his own work on top of it. So
okay.
So I will say personally, Aesop Rock is someone I had kind of heard the name kind of on like, the outskirts of what I was listening to sporadically here and there in the past, but it was really in researching for this playlist that his name really started popping up, and I started kind of listening to him more and more. The main reason I didn't pick him is because I wasn't super familiar with him and didn't like really sink a lot of time listening to him. So this was another one. Like once I saw that you had added him, I was like, oh man, I've been seeing him. I wanted to listen to more to him. Yeah, so I was happy to see that he was on here, and I love this song as someone who is a very, I've said it again, I'll probably say it 100 times again in the future, but someone who like loves the lyrical side of hip hop, man. Yeah, like you were saying, Aesop, right? He scratches an itch for me that you just don't get a lot of other places in hip hop.
I may not call him as clean as someone like Eminem, but I would say he goes far enough out there that he does something different.
Yeah.
So
this definitely, he falls in the category of like good earlier that you were like actually like lyrically decent. But
I would say his style is definitely in the past a little bit. He's
so
he's got a bit of
a lot of his stuff is 10 years old, things like that. That's when his heyday was. But like I said, he's come out with some recent stuff that I've come across now that I was like, holy shit, I didn't know this was around.
Yeah, so in hearing Aesop Rock stuff, it definitely it tickles that nostalgia fantasy for me, whereas like it sounds like underground hip hop, but with a modern twist to it. And I like a lot of underground artists. Not to say that mainstream artists aren't great, but to me it's just when you underground, you just raw. There's no,
you got the hunger.
Yeah, you got the hunger.
It comes across in the music oftentimes.
Yes, like that drive, like you can feel it. Like it's more passion behind it. It doesn't feel like it's just like a template that some people are following. Once you cross over to mainstream.
But then G-Eazy, I've come across him before, but I would say the style isn't quite mine.
Yeah.
So I'm a decently big G-Eazy fan, but I felt like there might have been a better pick than Sober to showcase his skills.
What? Okay.
And this is some of his other song, I just don't think that part of like I don't want to call it pop rap because it's not. It's a little more singing in it, a little more like not quite emo.
I would say it's a little bit more radio friendly.
Yeah, like radio friendly. And it's got other parts to it besides rap that draws the focus.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair enough. I will say that Charlie Puth did kind of shine a little bit. I do
love his part.
Well, that's the thing. So
he's really good on the song.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's a good song. It's just
and like that's the thing that really caught me off guard about the song is like I've heard some of Charlie Puth's music because I heard seen his name around. I was like, who's this? Generic dude or whatever. And I heard his stuff. It wasn't. Maybe listen to the album once. And I was like, okay, it's whatever. And then I heard this song, and I was like, oh, this dude actually legitimate can sing. So to me, when I heard this song, it was out of curiosity. I was like, G-Eazy and Charlie Puth. Okay, that's a weird combination. Let's see how this goes. Then I heard the song. I was like, okay, it definitely gives me Kanye West vibes. Early Kanye West, like pre-graduation vibes. So like if you can reimagine this song with like John Legend and Kanye West, it kind of feels that way. I can
kind of see that actually.
Yeah. So, and then I like the message behind the song, the storytelling behind it. Also, I personally was trying to get the West Coast some more love because, you know what I'm saying, we are, ATLs, Southern focused people in general, but I wanted to get the West Coast some love on this one. So, and hip hop in general, pretty much like as far as on the West Coast side, as a white boy on the West Coast, I mean, pretty much everybody pretty much accepts, G-Eazy, co-sign him or whatever. So
that's true.
So like definitely highly respected in the game. So I want to highlight that fact as well. I actually like his flow because it's definitely a West Coast style flow.
It's a chill. There's a chillness. That's how I think. It's like every single song, man. He's cool on the flow.
Exactly.
Like he's cool. He's like, he embodies that image too. Like in his professional life, how he presents himself.
Exactly.
So it's not. He's like the whole total package when it comes to that, which I've always enjoyed.
Yeah, like to me, like G-Eazy is what Jack Harlow wants to be, but has not.
Jack Harlow's just a little bit too corny to pull off the coolness that G-Eazy does. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, I will say the album that this song is from for G-Eazy is a really good album, like a really good, just from top to bottom. Thematically, he tackles a lot of vulnerable stuff in his own personal life. Highly recommend, if you liked Sober by G-Eazy, to check out the rest of the album if neither of you guys ever heard it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that being said, I am 1000% standing by my pick, ASAP Rock, because I love that beat, man. Like None Shall Pass. That was my shit. Yeah. Like every time that song came on, like again, it brought me back to the old school hip hop days. I like the simplicity of the beat, and it really hit me like in the feels. And like that's the one song I played the most out this whole playlist.
Honestly. That was.
So that's my.
I think one of his songs that really showcased at least his talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I vote for ASAP Rock. Whoever wants to go next.
You go next, Chris.
I think I'm going to have to follow up. I'm also going with Aesop.
I am also going with Aesop.
Whoa. Man. Okay. This battle.
Unanimous opinions here.
I know. We're synchronizing. I don't like this. It's getting scary now.
All right. So None Shall Pass by Aesop Rock beats G-Eazy to go on to the second round. And on to the next battle, we have two of my picks going against each other. We have Token on Household Name versus NF on Pandemonium. What were our thoughts on these two songs, guys?
You go ahead and go, Chris. I'm going to reserve my comment on this one.
So I liked the beat on Household Name from Token. I
do like the like just the big open E string guitar strum, the dong.
Right, yeah. Although I have to firmly throw him in this square of the try hard. Brutality. But it was good. I did like that. I think Pandemonium was probably one of the better like mixed songs out of everything on the list. It had one of the better production values, and I did like that about it. I don't know. This one was a hard one. It was a hard toss up.
Okay. I'm there with you, Chris, but I'm gonna have to go NF on this one, mainly because I like the aggressiveness in Pandemonium. I like how the beat started and stopped with the flow.
Really like, yeah. Sorry, keep going on.
So I thoroughly enjoyed that. Token, when I saw that, I was like, okay, when did Token from South Park get thrown on this? So that threw me off for a second, and I was like, dang. So Token can't even be called Token no more. Why gotta have to take Token name? So I'm like, damn. So and then like the song itself is kind of, I mean, I understand the coming of age, like the struggle. I want to move up and stuff, but it's just, it wasn't really hitting me.
Yeah. So I picked my favorite song by Token is way back. It's his song he did with Tech-9. But I had used that way back when we did our deep dive on Tech-9. So I was like, well, I don't want to use that one again. I do think like there's definitely a hint of still some coming up in the game for Token. He's still kind of new. He's young, still trying to, finalize his sound. I do think in like several years' time, he has the potential at least to really blow up. He really like hones his sound. But I think I'm more partial to Pandemonium as well, just for all the reasons you said, Terrio, as well as I really like how he, like the way he does his bars, how he'll end the line, but then like the actual word that goes with that line is what he starts the next line with.
Uh-huh.
And just that you have to like really be listening and following along to the lyrics.
Yeah, very
combined with
the
aggressive, and just it's really nice. And just the way he ends it, where it's like, now you can't ignore whatever. It's like, you can't ignore me now. This is so good.
All right, so I guess it's another unanimous one.
Works.
Sounds like it.
Golly, all right, these guys are laying down and taking it.
I feel like going forward, it's going to get a little tougher.
Absolutely, and I'm gonna interject. I'm gonna do this next one if you don't mind, Brandon.
Go ahead.
Okay,
take it away.
So the next battle we have Lil Dicky with Bruh versus the most versatile, illest, hardcore, gangster ass rapper straight out of Oakwood, Weird Al with White and Nerdy.
So, like I said, whenever I was announcing all the songs at the top, White and Nerdy is a classic. I feel like it's definitely one of those songs that like we talked about this a few times in the past, but some of those songs that like kind of replaced the original.
100%.
For I think a lot of people.
Yeah, I feel sad for Chameleonaire because that's no longer his song.
Yeah.
I mean, like Crazy Bone tried to save the song for him, but I'm sorry, Weird Al kind of stole your song, bro.
Although that is how you know you've made it as an artist. When Weird Al covers you, that's, I mean, people got to treat that as a reward in itself.
Oh yeah, absolutely, because he's getting paid off of that regardless. So I'm just like, like he getting money off of that too. They're like, yeah, go ahead and be White Nerd. I'm still getting paid. I don't give a fuck. So that's cool. So okay, so White and Nerdy was chosen by me, and Lil Dicky was chosen by Brandon Lee. I'm going to preface this that saying that neither one of us can technically relate to these songs, but but I will say, oddly enough, as somebody who is not white, I related to like 80% of the shit Weird Al was saying in White and Dirty.
Right.
So I was this like the first time in hip hop in a very long time when this song came out. I was like, oh my God, I edit Wikipedia too. I feel seen. Somebody sees me. I'm not out here alone. I don't do the bubble wrap thing because that's too expensive. But everything else, I was like, God dang it! Like I've never felt so seen in hip hop until Weird Al came out.
Weird Al of all people, yeah.
Well,
that's what's amazing about it.
Yeah, I'm freaking related to Weird Al. The only thing missing is me to grow a long ass Jerry curl. Outside of that, I definitely had to throw this out there.
And this is one of the ones that also has a great video for it.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Like all of Weird Al's songs, I think, or most of Weird Al's like parody songs have really great videos. This one matches that.
Absolutely.
Has Key and Peele in it, I think, before they were like famous for Key and Peele skits.
Huh. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think they play the gangsters that roll up on them,
Mm-hmm.
if I remember right. And then, Lil Dicky, bruh. That's just a kind of freestyle song. Lil
Dicky not freestyle.
It's not like an off the top, no pre-planning freestyle, but it is freestyle-esque format.
Yeah. So, okay. So this is a song off a professional rapper that made me respect Lil Dicky as a rapper.
It's one of the few that, you can point to as like, okay, he's not just all jokes and funny rhymes. Like, there is still a bit of that in the song, but he actually shows his like rhyming chops.
Exactly. So when I listened to the album, and I was like, okay, this is funny. I enjoy the album. Snoop Dogg is in the intro and all that shit. So, and then this song came up. I like literally stopped. Like I had my headphones on. I was like washing dishes or whatever. And this song came on. I was like, oh shit. Okay. I was like, he really went into like some old school hip hop shit. And again, I appreciate that. I mean, be as goofy and versatile and wild and crazy as you want. But if the moment you can step into that cipher and be like, hey, I got some bars. I'm about to stick with this beat. And I'm just going to go. I don't need no hook. I got something, like I'm always on tempo or whatever. Like to me, just showing that skill set means a lot. So this is the one song that pretty much in my opinion, gave Lil Dicky a pass to do whatever the fuck he wants to do because he has this one song here. And like,
that's fair.
And I can point to him like, hey, he out here, talking about, being Mr. McAdams and bullshit or whatever. But he got this on, bro, where he's like legitimately like got flow. So to me, this is a hard one to decide between the two because I like them for two different reasons. So I'm going to fall back and I'll be the tiebreaker if there needs to be one. I'll let you guys decide where y'all want to go. I just want to say
it's funny. I remember like the first time before the professional rapper album even came out. I think maybe it was like I feel like on like an interview on like a radio show or something he had performed, bruh. And so that's where I heard it first. And I remember like several times throughout the song saying the word bruh. Just like at some of the rhymes he has and stuff, some of the wordplay.
Just like whoa, bruh.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna pick first. I think I'm gonna stick with my pick, bruh. Just as classic as White Nerdy is, Weird Al, I don't know of any other songs where he raps. And as good as he does on this, it's not necessarily like a good example of like a white rapper compared to Lil Dicky, who's like really showcasing his rap skills. That's gonna be the argument I'm gonna take, at least for this.
Okay, that's fair. All right, Chris, what do you stand?
Well, I don't know. When I think of Weird Al, I don't quite think white rapper, but I do think like hip hop adjacent sometimes with some of his covers. So I don't know if I'd quite classify him there, but I will agree with you that Bruh is probably one of Lil Dicky's only songs where he's got actual flow and shows that he's actually got the skill to stand up and do some of the other comical stuff that he does. So I think I'm going to have to go with Lil Dicky on this one.
Mm.
Okay, so the winner is Weird Al. All right, you ready to go to the next round?
I'm going to take that right there.
Just for the record, is Weird Al your pick?
I mean, nah, I'm at the bruh. You know, I gotta go with bruh.
Bruh.
Okay, bruh.
All right. Well, bruh barely squeaking past Weird Al to go into the round 2.
Damn.
And all right, so that's round 1 over with. And before we get into round 2, I need a quick bathroom break.
All right, we'll be right back. And we're back with this
and we are going into round 2.
Round 2. Fight.
So, kicking it off at the top of round 2, we have coming in from round 1, Yelawolf's Pop the Trunk. That's the winner from round 1 coming in. And then we have the seeded pick, Scruby, Money by Drugs interlude. This was a good pick, I feel like.
Well, I agree.
Let me say, Scruby was picked by Chris.
Yep.
And again, Yelawolf was picked by Terrio.
Woo woo.
So what made you, because I've been listening to Scruby for, he was definitely one of the ones I'm more familiar with.
Yeah.
On the list. I've been listening for some time. Not like religiously or anything, but definitely like on and off throughout the years. So what made you pick this song in particular by him?
Well, I've also caught a lot of his like features with like Easy Mac and, you know, some other artists and stuff. But this was one of his that was just his original that really, I don't know. He's definitely a comedic rapper for me. He's definitely got that edge of comedy to him, but it just had a good beat, good production value, good video, and kind of showcased his style a lot.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do really like, this was one of the few I did actually watch the video for. Kind of by accident, but it does have a good video.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't watched the video, nor have I ever heard of Scruby before this playlist.
Which I just realized now I put 2 B's on his name for this, but it's only 1 B. Yeah, and then of course, you know, Yelawolf, Pop the Trunk, kind of talked about it at length in round 1 already.
Okay, so it said an interlude. I was like, okay, I don't know how I fit on the album or whatever, but for an interlude, it's definitely like
it pops.
It pops. It pops. Like he shouldn't even make that the interlude. Like this should have been the song. Something else should have been the interlude for it. So yeah, I was thoroughly impressed by this one, to be honest. Like when I first heard this, I was like, okay, and I like the tongue in cheek aspect of it. It's just like, you know, money can't buy happiness, but money can buy drugs. And I was like, I mean, you're not wrong.
And it's like, he has some great lines too, like I smoked alcohol and drank weed.
Yes, yeah.
And then my brains turn into baked beans. Yeah.
It's just like that's where the little bit of like comedic side comes out. But it's also like matched with like a good flow too.
Well, that, and then also like I had to double check the lyrics. I was like, okay, I know my mind tends to skew a little perverted. And I was like, did I hear what I just heard in the chorus? When he was like,
yeah,
like your dad is blowing coke off my ass. I'm like, oh, okay. All right.
I feel like that's intentional. I feel like that's like what he was going for, is to have you kind of like second guess. Like, am I hearing that right? Am I on drugs right now?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, like while listening to this song and like actually paying attention to the lyrics, I feel like I was high, and I'm 100% sober. So I'm just like, what the hell am I listening to? And I was like, okay, my mind playing tricks on me right now. So yeah, that was a solid pick, Chris. I appreciate that one. That was a good one. All right. So Brandon, what do you?
I was going to say, I don't know if I've went first yet.
Yeah, I'll put you in the hot seat.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the CDP and pick Scruby's Money by Drugs interlude. That's definitely, I actually had that. It's been in my liked for like months now. Mm-hmm. It was a song I was already familiar with. I've liked it since I first heard it, and yeah, as much as I do like Pop the Trunk, I definitely vibe a little bit more to Money by Drugs. whatever that says nothing about me personally. For the record, legally, I have to say this.
All right, where you stand at, Chris?
Well, I'm definitely gonna have to go with Carl Scruby. That is a vibe song for me. You know, that is a F everything. I'm vibing, chilling, whatever. That's a good song for me.
Okay.
It's a fun song if you're like out driving and you like pull up to a light.
Yeah.
Just have your windows down with it turned up all the way, just to see what the people next to you what looks they
see
give
if you can't get a look or something like that. Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. You definitely gotta be at the red light with the song at full volume. You just staring right at the car next to you, like like not even blinking. You just like just looking right at them. All right. Well, I mean, it's unanimous, I guess. Yelawolf takes this one. All right. What's the next one?
Well, opposite of what Terrio just said. Sounds like Money by Drugs by Cal Scruby, I think, is going on.
Yeah. Cal Scruby done bested Yelawolf. I will say this. Definitely got to check out Yelawolf. What's the name? He's one of the artists on Midwest Choppers with Tech Nine. Like, he has a whole verse on that song and a couple of the cuts as well.
He also has some kind of more like off-genre, kind of more country-esque style songs as well, if that's something you're into.
Speaking of that, though, did you know that he had a collab with Korn with Devil Went Down to Georgia?
No.
I think I saw that, but I haven't.
I came across that in my research. I was just like, all right, that's different.
That's another group I've not thought of in years.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's a Korn album. Korn did an album with Skrillex and all of them, and it's in my rotation to this day. Like Korn with EDM is so like when you mix metal and EDM, it's so good.
It's a good mix.
Yeah, it
really can be.
Yes. So speaking of country and singing and all that hip hop and all that good stuff, the next battle we got Bubba Sparxxx with Bird Dog. That's the seated peak, and chosen by me. And then we have Aesop Rock from the first round. None shall pass. So this is where I was alluding to earlier. So Yelawolf got signed by Eminem at one point, and at one point he was also label mates with T.I. at one point as well. But Yelawolf ended up signing Bubba Sparxxx at one point. And they actually worked together and released a couple of albums together under the same label. Okay. And they did some collaborations together as well. So that's when Bubba was getting more into his hip hop side when he moved up to Nashville and kind of got more in that scene.
Which he raps about in this song, by the way. About how, like, moving to Tennessee messed him up mentally. That whole final verse on that song is very, very well put together.
Absolutely. So I have to show respect for the OG because, a lot of the hip hop scene, not to say that it hasn't existed prior to that, but I would say Bubba Sparxxx definitely started that genre of mixing country and rap and making that more mainstream. And it
definitely brought a spotlight to it. For sure.
And that was definitely that's a whole thing with like the whole country rap scene right now. But yeah, so I wanted to give a shout out to that, and then the fact being that Bubba's been in the game for over 20 something years now, and came out with Ugly in 2001. That's when he first came up. So it is now 2024. So and this song came out in 2023, I think. So he's still making cuts.
I didn't look it up, but I felt like this was a more recent song listening to it.
100%.
I also was apparently completely ignorant to the fact that Bubba Sparxxx was white. I don't know why. For the longest time, I thought he was like a Latino of some kind. I don't know. I don't know what made me think that. I've also, in my defense, I never really like listened to a ton of, like, I only really ever listened to what if he had songs that were like radio hits or something was about the most I've listened to him.
I am sorry. I know we're on a podcast, but I'm just going to remain silent for a moment because that just, wow.
And literally, I had to, whenever you first like finalized your picks and sent me the playlist, I had to stop and go Google. I was like, is Bubba Sparxxx white?
Wait a second.
This doesn't meet the criteria at all.
I was like, man, Terrio, you're slipping over here. But no, I was wrong.
That's crazy. Yeah. I will admit, like back in 2001, when they first came out with Ugly and they didn't have his picture on anything, I was like, okay, I guess it's a new rapper signed to Timberland's new label back then. And then even on the cover, they strategically obscured his face to where you really can't see that he's white. And then, that kind of worked out in his favor, but also not in his favor. And then his second album, Deliverance, he really leaned heavily into the whole, hip hop scene or whatever. And till I think one of the Atlanta Braves walk-on song, one of the players has his song is his walk-on music, Deliverance. So, but yeah. So I picked this one because I wanted to. I wanted to find a recent cut that I liked, and this is one of the more recent ones. And also like the fact that it told the story of like what he's gone through, and then I like the fact that so I was playing this playlist at work, and I gotta give a shout out to my coworker Charles for this one because he said this, and it really fucked my head up ever since then. On this song, he was listening. I blasted at work on my computer and everything, and he's working next to me or whatever, and he's listening to that song, and he's like, you said that's Bubba Sparxxx, right? I was like, yeah. He was like, why he sound like a white Trick Daddy? And I was like, God damn it!
Oh, yeah. That is one way to put it.
I was like, yeah, he does sound like a white Trick Daddy. If you go back and listen to some classic Trick Daddy music, you'd be like,
you're not wrong.
You sound just like him. It's like the draw come out, and then just the pacing of the lyrics. That's why my picks, it was unintentional, but I noticed once we listen to the playlist, when you get to my picks, you hear the lyrics are more sparse and more spaced out. There's more like a dialogue, whereas the other guys are like aggressive and like trying to squeeze as many bars in as possible. So I tend to like that, because Bubba's like literally he's rapping, but he's kind of like having a conversation with you on the record. Same thing like with G-Eazy and all them. So I don't know. I don't know. Different flavors for different folks, but going up against Aesop Rock though, because None Shall Pass, that definitely hits a underground spot for me for sure. Like it almost makes you think of like the old school like Linkin Park days a little bit. So I don't know.
This is a tough one.
This is definitely a tough one for me because
they definitely hit two entirely different notes.
Yes. Oof. I don't know, man. All
right, I'm gonna say my pick. I'm just gonna dive in.
I already know where you're gonna go.
I want to question you on that, but I feel like you really do know where I'm gonna go. I'm going with Aesop Rock. None Shall Pass.
Knew it.
It's just I mean, you said it yourself in the first round, Terrio, but that it's also was one of my like most replayed songs from the play. Like there's a couple times I would just, as soon as it would end, I would just loop it back. Really like None Shall Pass. It's really good.
Yeah.
That lyrical density, it does things to me.
Yeah, that's fair. Chris, you want to jump in or?
Well, to me, Aesop Rock just has that lyrical edge. I feel like Bubba Sparxxx is, I don't want to say gimmick, but he definitely hits that note of like, I'm hick rap. You know what I mean? He's like trying to set himself as the staple for the genre, which he does.
Yeah, I don't think that's intentional. I just think that's just who he is. If that
that's
makes
what
sense.
I mean. Yeah. Like he himself is the example for his genre, where I don't think Aesop Rock quite does that. I don't think where I think he might be one of the best lyrical rappers. I don't think when people think lyrical rapper that his work doesn't come to mind for the most part. He still hasn't, where he's a big name, he hasn't quite hit that like household name kind of level yet.
He's big, but with an underground vibe.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Whereas Bubba Sparxxx has really got that notoriety behind him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely hit a bigger stage than Aesop has.
Yeah, and various different incarnations of his career. Like people still talking about booty, 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 booty rocking everywhere. Like,
that's literally the one song that comes to mind every time I see his name, dude.
Yeah. So
whereas some of his songs I think are a lot longer lasting. So I think I'm going to leave you in the hot seat on this one. I think I'm going to go Bubba Sparxxx.
Ooh, you dirty motherfucker.
I'm gonna leave you and having to pick it.
Oh, this is a tough one. Okay, I'm officially in the hot seat. Okay, all right. So my thoughts are, like I said before previously, is let's say OG Bubba Sparxxx. New. How long has Aesop Rock been doing this thing? And I keep want to call him Aesop Rocky, which is not the same person.
I know, yeah, and that's probably one of his biggest downfalls is being too close.
Yeah.
But God, it's been a while. I think at least None Shall Pass is at least 12 years old.
Oh wow.
Which, I mean, he's got newer stuff. Like one of his recent releases that I've been really on is called Aggressive Steven.
Okay.
About the time he found a junkie in his apartment. But it tells a whole story, but it's really about mental health and, you know, how the police interactions go and stuff like that. But it's really worth listening to if you get a chance. But
yeah.
So according to YouTube, his first album came out in 99.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
So he's been at the game for a long ass time then.
Yeah, I just pulled him up too. Dude's like almost 50. And he's from New York, so that's like also where I'm kind of getting that old school vibe because I can hear the tone in his voice.
Mm-hmm.
The New York, you know.
Yeah, it definitely checks out.
Yeah, all right. I'm probably going to upset a lot of people with this one, but I'm going to go Bubba Sparxxx on this one. Mainly
bird dog.
Bird dog.
Yep.
Just like, again, both of them have similar longevity, but like I said, like you said before, Chris, in your situation, the longevity of Bubba Sparxx's career, various different iterations, and some of his songs are still being played to this day. I mean, it speaks volumes, and then the fact that he kind of pioneered a whole genre when he's like the prototype, and everybody else has been kind of emulating that, but also exceeded him lyrically as well. But I'm gonna go Bubba on this one.
Okay. Bird Dog takes the win over Aesop Rock. And I just want to say, if you couldn't tell by me saying it like 5 times there, that is the most fun part of the song for me, is when the chorus comes up. Yeah. Bird dog.
That's like, let's get it. Bird dog. Load the truck up, let's get it.
Bubba does pack the catchphrases into his songs, that's for sure.
Yes, like I need that catchy factor. You can be lyrical all day long, but if you ain't got that catchy factor, I'm just like, it's nothing.
Alrighty, moving on to the third battle in round 2. We have what? Well, what are you making that sound for, Terrio?
This shit's gonna be hard, man.
This one's gonna be challenging.
Yeah,
for sure.
This is the hardest pick. I've been staring at this the whole time. I'm like, I don't know.
Damn.
So we have Chris's pick of Golden BSP and Tio Laza on the 9-minute Massacre, and that's not just the title of the song; it's also a description for what's happening on the song.
Yeah. Yes.
And he's going up against, and that was the seeded pick for round 2, and it's going up against NF's Pandemonium, coming in hot from the first round. And this one's tough, man. I just want to start out talking about the 9-minute Massacre, because it's literally the first song on the playlist. And so once I got the playlist, the completed playlist, and started listening to it, I didn't really pay attention to what the song title was or how long it was. Like, I just saw,
holy shit,
I just saw Golden BSP. And he's another one that, like, maybe in the last, like, half a year to a year, I discovered him. And I've not, like, really listened to him a lot, but his songs will pop up. You know, if I listen to maybe, like, 6 or 7 of his songs randomly here and there. So, like, I was kind of familiar with him. And so I knew, just looking, I was like, okay, this is a Golden BSP song. Let me, check what this is, or check what this is. And then it's like 2 to 3 minutes in, I'm like, okay, is this just a bunch of punchlines? Like, I mean, that's kind of cool, I guess, but it just sounds like a freestyle with a bunch of punchlines. And then, the song keeps going. It keeps going.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps going. By the time you're like 6 or 7 minutes in, I was like, I went from being like, okay, how long is this, to like, oh my God, he's still going. Like, what? How is it still going? And it just keeps going.
The reason I picked 9-minute Massacre was because I felt like that was probably something I haven't seen a lot of other artists do, which was make a collab of their own work. Like, or a montage of it or something, like where they pick some of their best shit and throw it all together and it works.
So is that what this is? That's just a bunch of different lines from like other songs or something?
For the most part, yeah. There's some original stuff in there, and obviously there's some of Teo Laza's stuff in there, but it really is some of his better stuff from some of his other works, just kind of brought together.
That is interesting.
Okay.
That makes a lot of sense, too.
That's kind of why I picked that one, is it's a little bit more of a showcase of his work than it is like an individual one, which in some regards, when you take them apart, some of Golden BSP's solo stuff isn't the best.
That's true. He has a bit of a shock factor.
Yeah. I will definitely say
that he kind of leans into a little bit.
And definitely his better works are his collabs.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt about that. But that one was the reason I picked 9 Minute Massacre, is because it does kind of show what he's capable of. I think if he just had better production, I think he'd be better off.
That's the one thing, not just on this song, but just from the handful of songs I have heard from him. That's the one thing that's like, I feel is really holding him back, because he needs like a top of the line producer helping him.
Yeah.
Because he's got pretty good flow. He's got pretty good, like I said, he's got some good punchlines and some good wordplay.
Now, see, if he hooked up with Prof's producer, I think he'd really make a name for himself.
That could be interesting.
That could be, but like who produced this one, the 9 Minute Massacre? Because like I thought the production on this track was dope.
I don't know for sure.
This one in particular was pretty good. I was more talking just like overall.
Oh, overall.
Like some of his like other songs, like the production is like not like some of his like album songs. Just, I mean, they're not bad. Like I've listened to them and enjoyed them, but it's just one of those things where it's like, that is, now that I have kind of sort of developed an ear for production and things like that, it's just, I get the feeling it's slightly holding him back. I think he got on like a really great produced beat where he's like working with the producer, might elevate him a little bit.
Yeah. So I had never heard of this dude prior to this playlist, and I was pleasantly surprised. Also shocked, because when I was listening to it, I thought it was just one guy at first, and then after I listened to it for the next 4.5 minutes, I was like, okay, this is another guy on there. But I was like, okay. And then I saw the video, and I was like, okay, are they twins? Like, what's going on? So
they do sound a lot alike.
Yeah,
yeah, it's a very similar style.
Yeah, very similar style. So I was like, okay, I wasn't sure this was like a whole concept thing of him rapping back and forth with himself, where he had somebody else that accidentally watched the video, and I was like, okay, this is different. I don't know. I go back and forth. Like, it's just like how you said, Brandon. There's moments where I like the song and I'm enjoying all 9 minutes of it, and then there's moments where I'm like 3 minutes in, I'm like, okay, I'm over it. But then like I'll catch like some weird sound effect or something. And like that's why like I had to give it to the producers, because they like the beat, it didn't stay the same throughout. It did kind of have little variations here and there, and then some of the sound effects matched the like the lyrics or whatever. So that would kind of re-peak my interest once I like kind of started drifting off.
Every time one of those sound effects would play, by the way, for me, I would just picture you listening to it, the sound effect play, and then you just break out in a smile, just because I know how you like your fun sound effects.
Yes, dude. I mean, what can I say, bro? You know me. But speaking of getting to know people, upon doing my thorough research, I happened to figure out what BSP stand for. And
that's more than I found out.
Yeah. So BSP, he posted on his Facebook on June 22nd, 2019. BSP stands for Buck Skin Pony. Please stop asking me. I don't know if that's real or not, but that's what
I'm going to say. Yes, that sounds right.
He did say something like "pony out" or something like at the end, didn't he?
Probably.
He says "pony" somewhere near the end of the song.
Somewhere.
Because I distinctly remember being like, "Is the pony the P?" I've had that thought all this week.
Yeah, but if you're a grown ass man talking about ponies and stuff, that's a whole nother community. But we'll say that for a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
Genuine did it.
Yeah, but
different context. I know.
Oh my gosh, did Genuine start the bronies?
Oh shit!
I think that is another podcast for sure.
Genuine started the bronies. Who knew?
But I will say, when trying to do research, I found almost no information on Golden. Like almost none. Like no biographical, no background.
Yeah,
nothing.
Yeah, he seems to be very cryptic, which that also kind of makes me, I don't know, a little apprehensive. I don't know. This kind of falls under the category of try hard to me. So like the lyricism is there, and it's just I had respect for it because I thought it was all original stuff. But then when you said that it was a montage or a collage or of him just kind of paying homage to his previous lyrics, to me that's kind of like a cheat code situation. So he just basically took a whole bunch of punchlines from his previous cuts. Like that's kind of lame to me.
Fair.
So
it would have been better had it been a freestyle,
or not even a freestyle, just like an original concept, like an original work. Like yeah. I mean,
which that's what I thought it was at first until I started doing research into it and listening to his other songs. I was like, hold on, I've heard that line.
Yeah.
And then I went back and heard it in 9 Minute Massacre. I was like, oh shit, okay.
Which it would have been very impressive if he had just done, or him and Tio Laza had just done a 9-minute freestyle together. Just for 9 minutes, just spit off the top of your head. That would have been kind of insane.
I mean, but like that's what this song invokes. It invokes that they're doing a whole freestyle because there's no chorus. It's just bar for bar, and there's really nothing like connecting it other than just punchline after punchline or whatever, which is interesting and entertaining, but just that just really takes away from it. Yeah, so for that reason alone, I'm going to have to go NF. Like you can pay homage to your previous works, you can like do a callback, but if you just like taking your old shit and remixing it and putting it out as something new, that's lame to me. I don't like that. So I'm gonna go NF on this one. Actually, like I was heavily leaning Golden BSP because I thought they was originally coming up with some fresh shit, but nah, that's lame.
All right, who you picking, Chris?
I think I'm gonna have to hang my own pick out to dry on this one. I really like Golden stuff. I think it's a good showcase of his work, but up against NF, I don't think it holds up. I think he would have done better had he been up against someone like Weird Al, but nope.
You know what? The sad part is, like, I still would have voted for Weird Al because at least I know. Fair. Because at least Weird Al had original lyrics. You know what I'm saying?
True.
For his parody. So. But okay, with NF, because like, isn't he like he doesn't use like profanity, right? Because I feel like he cussed in the song.
He doesn't cuss in the song. He started out as a quote unquote like Christian rapper. And then kind of transitioned from that to not rapping just about like Christian themes and stuff, but he's still like a Christian in his personal life and faith. So he still holds those beliefs and lives his life by them or whatever. So yeah, he doesn't like cuss in his songs. He has several songs where he talks about like, praying to God and how he needs to have God in his life more and stuff like that.
Okay.
But at the same time, like I believe we said it on the podcast before, but his lack of language, of explicit language, does kind of somewhat impress me.
Yeah,
that he's still able to fill the bars so densely without relying on those words as like filler.
Yeah.
NF for me is definitely one of the white rappers that like I don't put in this column in my head of white rappers. He's just a rapper for me now. I know that's probably my own personal subjective take, but he's proven himself enough for me at this point that in my own headcanon he's earned the spot. So yeah, I'm also gonna go with my pick. NF moves on to the semifinals. Now on to the last battle for round 2. We have the seeded pick of Watsky's Whoa 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 versus Lil Dicky's Bruh coming in from round 1. And both of these are my picks. It's great how that worked out.
It's funny, no matter how many times you do these playlist battles, he's always having his picks go against one another.
It was, my picks against each other in round 1, and now it's the same in round 2, but it's okay. It is what it is. That's what you get when you do a randomly generated tournament.
At least you get 2 in the semifinals.
That's true, potentially. Oof. Whoa.
So
versus
were you guys familiar with Watsky at all before listening to the playlist?
Not so much.
Never heard of him.
Really? I feel like I had shared Watsky with you way back, but maybe I never did.
I don't recall that one. That one really wasn't in my rotation at all. anymore.
He's definitely in the category of like he's all about the speed. I feel like he does have some like good bars and some good lyrical, like, you know, some good wordplay and lyrical density, but he actually got like what kind of made him blow up was like kind of early YouTube days. He had like a short, just like 2 or 3 minute video where he was just like, I think it was really just like the fastest white rapper or something like that. And he's just like rapping so fast. And it's just, you know, that was like one of, before he even had like an actual song, that video blew up. And then that led to him, like, I guess, sticking his toes in rap and then eventually becoming a rapper. But
yeah, I had to go back and listen to the song for a quick second. I was like, okay, which one was that one again?
Literally
yeah.
just, whoa, whoa, whoa.
What are you waiting for? Yeah. So with Watsky, we got the speed flow, speed rapper, compensating with speed. Let me go extra fast to prove my point. And then we got Lil Dicky, who wants to go long Dicky with his bruh verse.
It's a great way to put that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he chose a name, so.
True.
I mean, if anything, you know, call yourself Average Dicky or something. Like, it gotta be Lil Dicky.
Now, just as just a fun fact, I don't think this should necessarily have any bearing on picking one song or the other, but it is a well-known if you're a fan of Watsky, he's made it well-known publicly that he has a pretty severe lisp, which I just wanted to bring that up as a fun fact.
I don't think I picked up on that.
He's worked really hard for whenever he's like performing to kind of overcome that, which I think is just neat that he's able to rap as fast as he does with a speech impediment. I don't think it necessarily like makes the song better or worse or necessarily, you know, his rapping, but it's just, like I said, just a fun fact I wanted to throw in there.
Yeah.
I am super divided on this at the moment. I kind of get the feeling we kind of all are.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know. I don't think he's a tryhard, but I don't know. I'm so conflicted.
He's stuck in the middle of that a little bit, you know?
He also, for one weird thing about Watsky is his background. He actually, before he got into music, I think he was a stand-up poet. And it's not as noticeable on this song, but a lot of his songs definitely have like a stand-up poetry vibe to them. Or a spoken word vibe, yeah. Versus like more of a rap. So like, you know, he's still like rhyming songs and there's still a beat underneath, but just like the cadence gives it more of a spoken word vibe than a rap vibe.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and go with my pick. I'm going to go Watsky on this one. And the reason why I'm going with this one is from what I can see and from what I can gather from Watsky, he's 100% rapper. And like, you know, poetry and rap kind of go hand in hand. People want to argue and debate that, but his words going to a beat and the cadence they're similar. But he's definitely more focused on rap, whereas Lil Dicky is comedian turned rapper, but also still wants to be a comedian, so to speak. So looking at the overall picture of things, like I said, I like Lil Dicky. Bro as a standout on an album. Save That Money, talented, comedic song. Various other comedic songs. Pillow Talk, still, you know, number one there. But it just, when it comes to overall consistency as far as like MC, I think Watsky will best Lil Dicky.
And Watsky is still putting out albums. Like he just had an album out end of last year. So
exactly. Whereas Lil Dicky is, you know, doing acting and all these other things. So not to take away from his talent, but
is that what he's doing now? Because I haven't seen anything new come out from him in a little while.
Yeah. He has a whole TV series. I think it's like on his 3rd season on FX.
Oh shit! Okay,
called Dave.
I'm gonna put you in the hot seat, Chris. I'm gonna pick Bruh just because I don't know. I can't decide. I think either one of these I'd be happy going.
That's fair. I think I'm gonna have to agree with Terry on this one with Watsky, where I really like Lil Dicky's like flow and a style and everything. It's just, I think he's outpaced a little bit by Watsky.
Literally.
Yep.
I was thinking that, yeah. Alrighty, well, Watsky's Whoa 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 takes the win in our final matchup of the second round to go into the
Okay.
All right. Well, without further ado, I guess let's just keep on trucking. We'll dive right into it. So the first matchup of the semifinals, we have Cal Scruby, Money by Drugs interlude. And that was Chris's pick, as a reminder, versus Bubba Sparxxx, Bird Dawg. And that was Terrio's pick.
Okay. I want to say a quick disclaimer. Even though I did choose this pick, I did not think Bubba Sparxxx was going to make it to the semifinals. I'll be openly honest about that. I just a good song, don't get me wrong, but I didn't think I was going to make it that far.
Fair enough. I didn't think Carl Scruby was coming either. This was more of my comedy pick. I was just like, all right, well, let me cover this section of rappers. But
even though it is comedic, he still brings the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that Bird Dawg, though.
Bird Dawg.
Bird Dawg. Pack the truck up, let's get it. Oh man. All right, Brandon, you go first.
This one's tough because I do like both of these, and I don't want to say I necessarily like picked either of these as like making it to like the last round or anything, but I definitely didn't get the feeling they're going to be knocked out round one. Like I could see both of these making it to the semifinal. I think that's a fair assessment we've made so far on these two. But that being said, I think I'm going to go Cal Scruby on this one. Just something about this little interlude song, man. It's a bop. I don't know. It makes me happy.
I can agree with that. But just to fuck with Chris, I'm going to go with Bird Dawg.
I think I'm going to have to go with Cal Scruby on this one. For me, it's got something to it that it's got replayability a bit more than Bird Dawg's for me. It's one of those that every time I hear it come on, I'm just like, yeah, it's back.
And I know this is totally subjective, but I prefer the production on Money by Drugs. I think the production on both is really good.
High quality.
Yeah, just not even necessarily like quality wise, just like just how the production is composed on Money by Drugs is just something about it gets me like bopping to the song more than Bird Dawg does.
Yeah, you're 100% correct on this being subjective because I disagree. I prefer the Bubba Sparxxx one, mainly because there's something about less is more. So. And I like how the production gives, like, it forces you to listen to the lyrics. Whereas Money by Drugs is dope. Don't get me wrong. That being said, it's Bubba Sparxxx. So I get it.
I just, even though I pick Cal Scruby, again, like I said earlier, the final verse on Bird Dawg is like really massively put together, in my opinion. The rhyming, the flow, just the bars in general is just... Every time I would listen to Bird Dawg, like I would kind of be rocking along for the like first half of the song. I would be zoned in on that last verse.
Yeah, for me, it's a verses of like catchiness because that's neither of them I would say are probably the most lyrical based or the most have the best beats. I definitely did picture them in the semifinals together, but I think Carl Scrub's got just a bit more of that
oomph.
I agree.
Something a little extra.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. That's fair. That's fair.
Like we said, that is totally subjective. So,
if
you disagree with that, let us know in the comments down below.
That's right.
All right. So, Cal Scruby, Money by Drugs, barely beating out Bird Dawg by Bubba Sparxxx to go to the finals. Second battle, of the semifinals. We have NF Pandemonium versus Watsky, Whoa. These were both my picks, and these were both two of my more rappers. That's probably not, I don't know if you guys know what I mean by that.
Yeah, honestly.
Like both of these guys in my mind, like I don't, again, like I said earlier, I don't put them in like the white rapper box necessarily. They're part of rap for me.
Neither of them really touches on that comedy, whereas, what they'll be up against with Carl Scruby is definitely in that category.
Yeah. Okay. I think I know where I'm gonna go, but I'll let you guys choose first.
I will say both of these artists also just thematically what they talk about. They're both very open to being like vulnerable and talking about their struggles and their mental states if they're depressed or they have, whatever mentally they're going through.
Yeah, they actually got shit to talk about.
Yeah, which is another thing I feel like for like the good white rappers, I think just because you don't have the like, obviously not that like all rap music does this, but you have like the drill music and stuff where you can kind of lean into that, like the character of someone who's like a on the streets or whatever, that character in the rap song. As a white person, I feel like if you're trying to make rap music, you can't. It's harder to do that, if that makes sense.
My whole thing, I don't care what race, creed, gender, whatever you want to go by, tell your story. Like, don't try to put on a persona. Don't be fake about it. Like, if this is your story, okay, tell it. I want to hear it. And if it's entertaining for me, I'll check it out. But if I, even if I can't personally relate to it, as long as you make it entertaining, it's worth the listen. But it's like, I just have a hard time taking anybody serious if they put on a whole persona and then they get caught slipping and they're doing the exact opposite of what they're rapping about or singing about. I'm just like, okay, like, come on.
Yeah.
Now, not to say that you have to be 100% about what you're rapping about, because it is a form of entertainment.
No, yeah. Obviously, you can hyperbolize and all that, exaggerate.
Yeah. But it's real hard to listen to somebody who's get money, stay strapped, and you're from fucking Beverly Hills.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not quite the same.
Yeah, 100%. So. Yeah, so that's where I land on that one. But since nobody else is gonna go, I'll go first. I'm gonna go NF on this one, mainly because I think NF just kind of he hit the gas a little bit harder on this track compared to Watsky, and just overall, I don't think there is an NF song I've heard that I have not liked.
I agree with that. That last statement you just said.
Yeah, I could say the same with that.
All right, Chris, do you want to pick next? You want me to pick next?
Well, I think I know what I'm going to go with. So why don't you go first? And We'll see.
All right, Iggy Azalea. All right, who's the next one?
Obviously, the best white rapper. Okay, just to keep it interesting, I'm gonna pick Watsky. Whoa. I'll let you be the tiebreaker. You already kind of know who you're picking, because like Terrio said, these are so neck and neck for me.
It's literally splitting hairs.
And like Terrio said for NF, he's not heard a song by him. He hasn't. Like, I agree with that. I also feel the same way. I think for Watsky, I've not listened to like his entire discography, but every song I have heard from him has been enjoyable. So this is a tough one for me.
Yeah, these two really are a comparable match between them. It's unlucky that they landed on the same bracket, but I think I'm going to have to go with NF. I think he's just got a bit more style or a uniqueness to him, and I think that makes him stand out just a little bit more.
The way what you said, Terry, he how'd you put it? He put the gas. He gave it more gas, or hit the gas harder, or whatever you said. Just the way. I agree with both of those statements you guys said.
Like when it comes to his drops, he has that little bit more of a punch, and like his delivery of it.
His flow switch ups, he expresses that pretty well. Whereas Watsky, I mean, he does the speed flow, and he kind of bounces back between going really fast and not going really fast, but it's not really a flow switch up as much as NF.
It just switches, yeah.
It definitely gives me 100% Eminem vibes, and I don't want to take that away from Watsky, but like he definitely has a lot of that Eminem flow. Well, modern day Eminem with the whole, since Eminem wants to start rapping fast and stuff lately.
I've definitely noticed that inspiration.
NF Pandemonium winning against Watsky's Whoa 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 in the semifinal to move on to the final in this playlist battle.
We're in the final. Final.
All right. We have, for the final matchup here, we have Cal Scruby's Money by Drugs interlude versus NF Pandemonium. Fight.
I will have to say,
I am surprised by these results.
Also, yes.
Yeah.
I'm surprised at these results, but also just looking at this, these could not be more diametrically opposed. You got a former Christian rapper going against somebody who's like, "Hey, sell me that week. I got $20."
That is so true.
My plug sucks. I need a new plug.
Tell your dad I got a line for him. No kidding.
My ass is waiting for your dad. What? Hold up.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna beat that out. Can have AI pick it up on that one using my voice to say that line over again. but yeah, this is an interesting mix up. God, yeah, this is literally like an angel and a devil on my shoulder.
This is like how NF and Watsky in the last round were like very comparable. Yeah, these are like coming at it, like you said, they're coming at it from two opposite, thematically at least, two opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah. Oh wow.
So let's say Cal Scruby to me definitely has more of a vibe to his sound. Get you drawn in a bit more, whereas NF definitely has a better put together like story to tell. Carl never really has any sort of story throughout any of his works. It's always comedy, sound effect.
For me, Scruby is definitely like, I do like a lot of his songs, but they're definitely songs, I might have while I'm driving down the street or while, I have playing in the background while I'm like doing dishes or something around the house. Yeah. Versus NF, whenever I listen to NF, I like, whether it's intentional or not, it tends to just because of how he writes his songs and the wordplay and everything, I guess, but it tends to draw me in a little bit more to like focus on the lyrics as I'm listening.
Yeah.
Whereas I can do that obviously with Scruby's songs, but I don't naturally tend to do that just, without focusing in on it.
So when you think about it, is it more about the production of the whole song, or is it more about the style and the lyrics and how they put together their rhymes? What draws you more with rap?
That's where it gets very subjective.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this whole thing is subjective, but it just ultimately is like,
what's more important?
It's the feeling that I don't know. I guess, okay, all right.
Does comedy take away from it?
It all depends on the person. See, me, I'm a comedy whore. So anytime you can make me laugh, no matter what the situation is, I'm going to laugh. I probably be at somebody's funeral laughing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's just what I do. That's my coping mechanism. So I will rather laugh than get introspective any point at any time. So that's where Cal kind of has the advantage for me. But I'm also not super familiar with all his music though. So that's the other thing I'm kind of torn on. But from everything y'all are telling me, y'all are saying that like his stuff is kind of in the same vein as Money by Drugs, right?
I would say that's probably one of his more like drug focused songs, I guess you could say. I mean, there are others, but he's got stuff
all about drugs and stuff.
I'm saying like the style. I mean,
I would put him as a more serious Lil Dicky,
bruh,
but not by much.
He's somewhat he's pretty right in saying that. I'm not gonna lie. From what I've heard of Scruby,
yeah, like he takes himself a little bit more seriously with his other stuff, but there are absolutely tracks like this one that's for the laughs.
Yeah, more serious Lil Dicky. You know what? He's not quite Lil Dicky. He's a serious Lil Dicky.
Just a little. He's a serious dick.
He's a serious dick. We don't like the little dicks around here. Only serious dicks allowed around here. Yeah, I'm not super familiar with all his music, so I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna pick first because I think I've decided. I'm gonna. Probably not surprising too many people, but I'm gonna stick with NF. I'm gonna stick with my pick, mainly because as much as I agree with what you were just talking about, Chris, as enjoyable as a lot of this song in particular by Cal Scruby and a lot of his other songs are to me, I don't think there's ever been a moment where I've been listening to his songs and I've just thought, "Damn, what a line!" or what a switch up or what. And I've had that exact thought several times with NF. So I just think, especially like initial impact, like initially listen to a new song by him. There's been several times where he's really impressed me in a way that Scruby hasn't quite managed to do.
Okay, that's fair. All
Definitely
right.
fair.
All right, so to fuck with you, Chris, once again, because you're the guest, I'm going to go with Kyle Scruby, which is shocking. But while you were talking, I did kind of just scrub through some of his production. And as much as I like NF, I haven't heard a song about him I didn't like. I do like Kyle Scruby's production a lot more.
It is really good.
Yeah.
And I like Kyle's take on I could be serious and also can be goofy. And like he knows how to balance it. Whereas
it's like I can be goofy, but you still got to take me seriously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and then like what's the name? NF. Like he's just Brandon, you're gonna hate me for saying this, but this is the only way I can really describe it. NF is almost too good. If that makes any sense.
If anything, I'm happy you say it. If your issue with one of my favorite artists that he's too good, I'm gonna be like, okay, that's not even like that's so subjective. Like I'm not even gonna take that as a negative. Like
yeah, it's like I mean, I like the I don't know. Yeah, at this point in time, I'll be happy with either one of them, but I'm gonna go with Cal on this one because I do like his modern take on it. I do feel like I like the mix of comedy mixed in with it, and I'm more excited to hear more of his stuff because I think with NF, I kind of almost know what to expect or kind of have a bar that's already like always present for NF. Whereas Cal, I think I'm more excited to listen to his stuff because Money by Drugs is the second song that I had on repeat. On this playlist.
It's really good. It's a fun song to listen to over and over again for sure.
Now, Chris, it comes down to this. You have the final decision. You have the power to decide the fate of one of these artists.
Coming into this final, I thought I knew which one I was going to pick, and then you both made really good arguments. I swear.
That always happens. Like, literally every time we've done this, it's happened.
Honestly, I thought I was going to come in picking NF because his style of, like, I like a lyrical rapper. One of my favorites is Aesop, and sticking with that style, I like a rapper that's got some speed and some flow to it and can switch up between different styles and keep it consistent. But then, Terry, you made some really good points about Carl. Like, between his, like, actual different songs, different albums, he hits more unique styles than NF does. It's something like when I hear a new one of Carl's songs, I have no idea what's about to happen, what trip I'm going to go on, what drugs he took and went on a trip. You never quite know. So it's a little more excitable to listen to Carl stuff. So then I feel like my opinion was changing there, but I don't know. I think I'm going to have to give it to Cal.
I can respect it.
Gonna be honest, he wasn't my throwaway pick, but he was not my top pick. I really thought Aesop or Prof would have done better than him, but because he's definitely not the most lyrical, and I can say that. NF is definitely a better rapper than him, but don't know if I like his songs as much.
If he was matched up with anybody else,
yeah,
I thought NF was going to take it all the way through.
And I imagine if it was a freestyle, if it was one-on-one, NF would win. Yeah. Like I really don't think there's much of a comparison there. But given Carl's like video production, like his music videos, like his style and comedy.
That's another thing. I don't think NF has much. I think he only has like literally like 2 or 3 music videos. Whereas it seems like, Scruby's really leaned into that more as more of an artistic expression for his songs, which is, we've expressed it before on the podcast. We love music videos.
They draw you in. Yeah.
Artistically. Yeah. You can tell there's like an artistic vision and it's linked to the song. And it's like, it's saying something or doing something like it.
That's something that's definitely drawn me into more like the white rappers category. I think they also try to really reach out there with their music videos to try and make them unique and different. There's not too many ways you can make like Rolling Down the Street fucking new. It's been done. They've got to find something new. They got to find a new tag. And I think stuff like Carl Scrubby's Money by Drugs, where it's an infomercial and he's slowly losing his mind and the infographics have, start getting deteriorated and falling apart, those kind of things I think really go the extra mile.
Unfortunately, because they're white, they have to well, hold on, let me rephrase that. Not unfortunately because you're white, because you can't change that. But being a white rapper entering a predominantly black hip hop world, you definitely have to kind of put an extra oomph on it to gain respect and notoriety. I have so many thoughts on it, but I'm trying not to bring up years of baggage of it. Ultimately, it's just like when it comes to just hip hop in general. Hip hop has always been, well, for the most part, there are a few gatekeepers. I can't, not deny that. But for the most part, hip hop has been very open-minded and very open to whomever wants to embrace the art form. And we kind of tend to have welcoming arms when it comes to that. Unfortunately, because of that, it seems to be like certain people tend to excel at a faster rate who are just guests in the culture, if that makes any sense. So I'd be remiss to not bring that up as well at some point. Macklemore won over Kendrick Lamar, and people are like, the fuck? Like, that's like, even Macklemore, he was like, why the fuck y'all give me this? like I don't deserve this.
Yeah, I don't deserve this at all.
So it's, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of people coming after Eminem, and now after all these years and not respecting how much work that Eminem has put in the game.
Saying he's a guest and that he's, he shouldn't be in the game anymore and all that crap.
I'm like, Eminem's been in the game as long as some of these people have been alive, and then some.
Like he's been such an influential, like he's definitely been a foundational member of the community to make it what it is today. So like, it's crazy to me that anyone would have that take.
Exactly. And to me, it's just like, okay, unfortunately, Eminem is in a position to where you've been in the game so long that you become the villain when you were the hero in the beginning of it all. So it's kind of
I don't know. He kind of started out as a villain too, didn't he?
Well, that's the thing. Well, I would say anti-hero, because
I'm splitting hairs here. Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
like he was a savior for like, hey, white boys can rap and actually not be corny all the time. You can be corny when you want to be, or whatever, or just be
he definitely took up that mantle of, well, y'all think I'm corny. Sure, let me do some corny shit and make it look good,
Exactly. And still be lyrical with it and taking jabs at you. And like, a day you listen to the album, there's some crazy dark shit, and some people looked up to that, and that was a whole other thing. But, Eminem of Slim Shady era versus Eminem now is two different people. So, but yeah, true. All in all, I just want to say y'all have definitely enlightened me a lot, because I would say out of this whole playlist, I may have known maybe 5.
Yeah, there was a lot of new names here to me. So
yeah, and definitely going to add more to my repertoire for sure. And just keep them on blast. And I can't wait to be at the next red light, blasting Money by Drugs with my eyes wide open, looking at the person. the light turned green. I'm still staring at them. Just to let you know. So, all right. Well, thank you for joining us, Chris.
Yeah, anytime, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Do you have anything you'd like to promote or plug or shout out?
No, just kind of getting up and started with some streaming stuff, but nothing in the works yet. Just gonna get some stuff rolling in the next little while.
Okay. All right. Well, be on the lookout for that, and we'll be sure to promote you on the podcast, and you're also welcome to come back on anytime you want.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good, guys.
For sure, man. Thanks for coming out. This was a fun episode.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. All right. So I want to thank you guys for listening to the playlist, as well as hanging out with us this week. Tell us what you think of the playlist. Tell us what you think of the results of this playlist battle. Do you agree, disagree, or have other thoughts? Do you have any other white rappers that we forgot about or didn't know about? Or were they so white that we didn't see them? Either way, let us know on social media. You can check out our socials. Everything's available for you at afterplaylist.com. And if you want to support us directly, you can go to our Patreon, which is patreon.com/afterplaylist. All right. And as always, don't forget to share, subscribe, and share this playlist with your friends and whomever wants to listen. Even if they don't want to listen, make them listen. They out of here.
Yeah, especially if they don't want to listen. Force it on them.
All right. Until next time, keep on listening. Bye.
Bye.
Black Giraffe made this.